Hi guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today, we're doing another early impression on a Spirit of Dubai fragrance. And these are very expensive if you know the brand. They're not as well known as some of the other niche houses like, Roja Dove is one of the most popular, really expensive brands that's just full on, in your face, opulent luxury pricing. This is trying to do the same thing, but from the Middle Eastern side of things, the Arabic perfumes, if you will. And this is a sample set that my fairy godmother or perfume fairy godfather sent my way. I won't reveal which gender it is because I don't want you guessing who has sent me these. But they sent me a whole like an entire care package that was heavy enough I needed two people to lug it up the stairs with me. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that heavy, but it was a lot of stuff in there. Go watch that unboxing. There's all kind of, like, here's one of the sample sets that came in that care package along with a bunch of other things. And the Spirit of Dubai sample set is one of them. Now, this is a house I never got a chance to try. I did a first impression on their oud perfume, which is $1,100 for 100 ml. And while I liked it, I sure as hell didn't like it enough for $1,100. And so now we're moving on to the second one, which this one is a fragrance called Meydan. M-E-Y-D-A-N. Maydan. Spirit of Dubai, Maydan. And this is the one I was really excited about because it's a leather scent, and if you know me, you know I absolutely love leather. If you've watched any of my channel, you know leather is one of my favorite notes. Fragrances like Bel Ami, Leonard Porom, even Pure Distance M. Like, this is one of my favorite leather fragrances. Pure Distance M is absolutely stunning. So that's the kind of leather perfumes that I like to wear. So I was excited to see what Maydan was all about. Now, the perfumer, creative director, perfumer, perfume maker, whatever you want to call them, his name is Asghar Adam Ali. And it shows brand owner / perfume maker, which rings very close to another very high-end niche brand you may know. And so, it's in that high-end luxury. They want you to think that you are, buying something that is, everything is made by hand and all that kind of good stuff. And when you buy a brand that the MSRP on 100 mils on their website is $425 US. So not as much as the oud. But then again, the oud feeling in this is much more synthetic. The smell. Now, maybe there is real oud in this. I don't know. The actual oud perfume that I tried from them, that's just called Spirit of Dubai Oud, it smells like there's real oud in there, and it's priced like there's real oud in it. This one is priced at $425 for 100 ml. It's only $275 for 50 ml, so it's priced much more reasonably. It smells more synthetic. It doesn't smell like the oud is real oud here, interestingly enough, but we'll get to that later. First, I want to do a little trick with these. By the way, it came with this beautiful little card that came with the sample, this thank you card. You can see the Spirit of Dubai logo all over it, or I think you can. Maybe you can't. But there's little Spirit of Dubai logos all over this. So they've obviously spent a lot of time on the packaging. And the packaging's a big deal to them. They talk about it even in the About Us. Like, I'll give you an example. It says, Dubai Maydan. This is straight from the Spirit of Dubai website. Dubai Maydan is a leathery oriental fragrance inspired by the nobility of the Arabian stallion in the royal green fields of the playground. The exhilarating fragrance of Dubai Maydan is a symphony of grapefruit, bergamot, top notes with middle notes of tobacco, agarwood, and cedarwood, with romantic undertones of leather and vetiver. I didn't know leather and vetiver was romantic. So it says, the fragrance is held in a regal green leather, with a striking golden embellishment of a horseshoe. Let me decline this. Of a horseshoe, an accessory typical of the horse of Arabia that galloped majestically across the playground. The bottle is slipped into a green leather finished pouch and held within a cushioned frame box. They're big on packaging, I'll tell you that. And the package does look pretty. There's a little golden horseshoe on the front. Okay, I get it. It's nice, but I'd rather have a package that wasn't as fancy and have more attention to the juice. But again, that's just my personal opinion. So here's the notes. And it's an insane note breakdown, as most Spirit of Dubai perfumes are. It's very Roja Dove-esque, like I've said. Everything from the perfume brand owner being the perfumer to the giant note tree. I think they're trying to do this thing where they're like, oh, there's 50 notes in this perfume. It must be absolutely amazing. Like they try to catch people with that. And so you'll notice here in just a second, I'll read you the notes. So it's grapefruit, lavender, artemisia, cardamom, cinnamon, cypress, saffron, bergamot, apple, nutmeg, styrax. That's the top. Middle, tobacco, charismal, cashmeran, jasmine, muguet, geranium, agarwood, labdanum, cedarwood, cypress. That's the heart. Base, oud, musk, patchouli, sandalwood, leather, gajak, vanilla, tonka, vetiver, amber, benzoin, and tolu balsam. So my guess is that one of those charismal in the middle note that's listed on the Spirit of Dubai website is Hedione, potentially, because Hedione is listed in the note breakdown on Parfumo. And so there's Hedione and Cashmeran. But before I really get into the perfume, I just want to show you guys the packaging that it comes in. So this is the I guess holder for the sample, and you can see the Spirit of Dubai logo all over it. So again, the packaging is top notch. Some of the best packaging ever. And this opens up like a scroll. So let's see what happens if I do this, because someone was telling me it opens up like a scroll. So let's see what happens. What happened to you're supposed to open up like a scroll? Okay, here we go. I didn't realize it was going to be this hard to open up. All right, come on, baby. Come on, scroll. I'm about to give up on you. I am very close to giving up on you, scroll. Does this just come off? All right, I'm just going to rip this off. Hang on. Bear with me. This is supposed to be the big reveal. Okay, here we go. Ah, ready? Oh. Okay. There you have it. Kind of cool, eh? I must say, that is pretty impressive. That is impressive packaging, okay? This packaging, though, doesn't come cheap. They don't just do this out of the goodness of their heart. I promise you they're passing along the cost to the consumer. So it says, Dubai Fakma. This isn't Fakma. Wait a minute. This is Meydan. I think this is in the wrong one. Nothing's easy. Okay, so I'm not going to read you guys the blurb because this says Fakma. And is Fakma one of the perfumes? Let's see. F-A-K-H-A-M-A. It is one of the perfumes. So this is in the wrong one. My perfumed fairy godfather / mother put this in the wrong one, unfortunately. So I'm not going to read it to you. I was going to read it to you, but now I don't know which one it's supposed to go in. Maybe it's the green one? Let's see. Let's see if we can find it real quick. We'll do this on the fly. Let's just see. I'm curious now if it's the green one. Let's give this the old college try here. I want to read you guys the scroll. Ah, it is the green one. Okay, Maydan. Here we go. We will correct this error. Okay, so in the city of metal and concrete, we were greeted by a pool of emerald green. Tethered to the edge was a magnificent horse. In its every limb, muscle, and sinew, I saw a formidable strength. It was the horse of Arabia, a horse of power. And at that moment, I discovered power. I mounted the beast and held my hand out toward her. She looked at me from under the veil of her lashes and took it. This Maydan, I told her as I rode, an unabashed celebration of the physical body. The fresh fragrance of lavender rejoices in the open air, while the undertone of leather, sandalwood oil, and spices speak of strength and focus. Spirit of Dubai. Okay. All right, so here we sit. As you can see right here, not what I was expecting from the copy. They need help. They need somebody to help them with their translation to English, maybe. But a cool idea, okay? It opens up like a freaking scroll. That's cool. No matter what you think of the copy, and that is a hilarious copy, I must say. Cool idea. So, can I put this back on is the question. Hey, they made it to where you can actually put it back on. Amazing. All right, I'll fumble with this later. I won't do this while I'm on camera, or will I? Maybe I will. Okay, so let's talk about the perfume. So, when you spray Maydan, you're hit with a couple things. Number one, you're hit with this very synthetic saffron oud combo I was not expecting. Okay, so the leather is there from the very beginning, and the leather kind of stays in the background through all of it. If you would have blindfolded me and said, Ramsey, what is this fragrance you're smelling? I would have said it's probably like a Tom Ford. It has that synthetic oud that you get in some Tom Ford fragrances, like, for example, Oud Wood has a synthetic feel to the oud. That synthetic feel is here, which it was not here in the, it was not here in that synthetic fashion in the oud fragrance that I tested from them. It smelled much more natural. It smelled more like the night. And I thought that was the oud that was going to be throughout the entire line because of this crazy price point that they have. It's not. And in fact, I started smelling something that was very familiar. I said, I've smelled this fragrance before, but I really couldn't put my finger on it, what it was, you know? And it hit me with this kind of synthetic sweetness that I wasn't expecting. It is nice. And I was reading some of the Fragrantica comments, and someone said, thank God for that little bit of sweetness. It saved the fragrance. And here I am thinking, man, where is this disgusting sweetness coming from? It does tend to go away. When you first spray, there's some synthetic sweetness that hits you, but it's a synthetic perfume. It has that big apple, that, you know, that giant synthetic apple accord that you get from Promise, which is Estee Lauder's or Frederic Mall's take on a Middle Eastern perfume. Promise has that big apple in it. This has that with big synthetic saffron, big synthetic oud. It's a huge perfume. It's big. Not as big as Promise, but it's big. And I was just expecting something different. I was expecting something more, let's say. And I was a little taken back. It's not that it smells cheap, because it doesn't smell cheap. it feels like I've smelled it before, and where I think I've smelled it before is this. So Roja has some Middle Eastern perfumes. I don't have all the other ones because they're under lock and key, but some of the ones that I just have at my fingertip, things like Amber Oud, regular Oud, there is United Arab Emirates, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I've shown on my channel before, those kind of perfumes. Sultanate of Oman has a little bit of this in it, because there is this frankincense and myrrh thing going on in Meydan as well. And this is 2015, by the way, in case I didn't mention. This Spirit of Dubai Meydan is a 2015 release. And so my guess is that in 2015, that was also when Roja's Middle Eastern collection was really kicking off. They were doing more and more of those kind of United Arab Emirates and, you know, stuff like that, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, stuff like that. And I feel like they were maybe stealing from each other, maybe borrowing from each other, maybe even the perfumer traveled and did perfumes for Roja's brand and Spirit of Dubai. This whole perfume maker and brand owner thing, I can't say I really buy into it. Maybe Roja Dove is the perfumer. Maybe Oscar Ali Adam is the perfumer. That I don't know. But I will tell you that that it gives off a very similar vibe. If you've smelled fragrances from Roja's Middle East collection, you're getting an approximation of what you're going to smell in Maydan. It has this it has this luxury feel to it, but also like you're smelling a luxury fragrance in a synthetic way, if that's the case. If you understand what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like real luxury, like fine French perfumery of the past. It feels like, and of course I dropped it, it feels like it's a Middle Eastern perfume. It's meant to be a Middle Eastern perfume. I don't think these Middle Eastern houses have really refined their craft yet. I get much more pleasure, let's say, out of wearing something like the Moon or Promise. Something like that. You know, even just the regular oud that I smelled from this house last time, which kind of shocked me, because I thought, oh, here it comes. This is the leather fragrance. This is the one I'm going to love. And I was all geared up to love this perfume. And I do enjoy it. Like I said, it doesn't smell cheap. It just smells like it's been done before, you know. Maybe in 2015, this was revolutionary. Smelling it in 2022, I'm just kind of like, you know, you can pick out some of the woody notes. You can pick out some of the cardamom and spices and saffron, but it's so synthetic, and it's so, you know, it's this synthetic luxury perfume. You can tell what they're trying to do. And maybe they hit their mark perfectly. Maybe this is exactly what they were trying to create. But the oud smells synthetic to my nose, which, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe there is some real oud in here. I don't know for sure. But I can tell you that it doesn't smell like you're smelling high-class real oud. It smells like you're smelling the same synthetic molecule that is used, you know, the world over, if you get what I'm saying. So there's that. The second part is that there's two competing forces in this perfume. Number one, there's this dry, smoky leather. That's the stuff that I love. The dry aspect of the fragrance is what I want more of. It's like I'm smelling it and I'm searching for it, right? And then the other side, it's like the riddle of the unstoppable force meets the immovable object, right? Which one wins? There's the dry, smoky aspect on one side of the coin. Then on the other side of the coin, you have this sweet, synthetic, like I said, not cheap because it doesn't smell cheap. It smells like one of the Roja perfumes from the Middle Eastern brands. But there is that synthetic sweetness to it underneath it all. And if you have some experience with perfume, you will pick that out instantly. It's the first thing I noticed. As soon as I sprayed, I said, oh, what is that? If you smelled this and you thought it was like, how Latafa or Armaf has like their niche collection, like their high-end collection, I wouldn't fault you if you said, this is a high-end Latafa. This is like one of the $150 Latafa perfumes that they make, or whatever it is. I would not fault you at all if you thought that. It has that vibe about it. And that's the part that my nose is going, I don't like that as much, but I want more of the dry, unsweet, woody frankincense, the smoke. There's this oriental undertone to the perfume as well, like they say. You get a little bit of the vanilla, labdanum. I like that. I like the oriental fragrances, and I like the leather. The leather in this perfume, it's a leather you've smelled before. It's not like the leathers that I love. It's more like a Tom Ford-ish leather. Everything about this perfume just screams Tom Ford to me. I don't know why. The oud, the leather, all that good stuff. And then the last piece of the puzzle is the tobacco. The tobacco is the other part of the fragrance that makes it more masculine, the tobacco and lavender. And the tobacco here is nice. You can smell it, but it all just part of that blob that they give you. That 50 perfume note blob that hits you. And you go, okay, yes, maybe there's some tobacco in here. Yes, maybe it's not blended perfectly. It's just, I'm just left wanting more, and I'm so excited to try this brand, especially after the oud was like a dead on for me. I said, I really enjoy it. I want more though. Maybe this next one will do it. The leather one will do it for me. And it just, it's not, again, it's not that it's bad. I'm not saying this is a bad fragrance. If you gave me this, I would wear it because there are pieces of this fragrance that I absolutely love. Leather, love. Frankincense, love. That kind of stuff, Even some of the problem is if I wanted a synthetic saffron, apple, synthetic Middle Eastern style fragrance, I would just wear Promise. I enjoy Promise way more. When I wear Promise, my nose doesn't go, oh, where is that, what is that synthetic sweetness that's ringing in my head and bothering me? I don't get that from Promise. I enjoy every second of Promise. Even though it's loud and boisterous and in your face, one of the biggest perfumes I own, one of the loudest perfumes I own, I still love that fragrance. And here, even though underneath it all, if I peel back the layers like an onion, there are pieces of this fragrance that I can appreciate. I can appreciate the Middle Eastern style in some way I can. I can appreciate the cardamom, the spices, the saffron, the oud, the leather, the frankincense, the myrrh. I can appreciate all that stuff. There's even this green cypress note that you get in the top and the middle, and the packaging is green like the scroll I was showing you. So actually this is the one that it's supposed to be in. And we discovered that together on camera. This green one, you can see the Spirit of Dubai logo all over it. The packaging's awesome. It's badass. But again, part of me, the part that kind of understands the financial aspect of the fragrance game, knows that if they're spending this kind of money on this kind of packaging, that they're probably not spending it on the juice. You're paying for the packaging. And I would prefer to maybe get a little less package and a little more higher quality juice. I would have loved to see this perfume a couple $100 more with the real oud that they were using in the oud fragrance they're selling for $1,100. Instead of trying to save money on the synthetic oud. Maybe there is some real oud mixed in here, so they can say there is some. Who knows how much, but it doesn't feel real to me. I would have liked the quality to be even higher, and that's a bad thing to say when you're talking about a perfume that's supposed to be top shelf. Spirit of Dubai is supposed to be right there with Roja. You know, it's supposed to be, you can't go any higher than this without going to bespoke perfumes. Unless you're going to have one made for you, there's not really many brands that charge more money than Spirit of Dubai or Roja. And to say you want the quality to be even better, that should never come out of your mouth when you're talking about these fragrances. And that's exactly what happens in my brain wearing this today. I would like to see the oud higher quality. I would like to see some of the synthetics toned down and maybe a real perfumer come in and blend this properly using better ingredients. And that shouldn't be said. So I didn't plan on saying that, but it just kind of came out. And I think that's a fair assessment of how I feel about this fragrance. Would I wear it if you gave me a bottle? Absolutely, I would wear it. It's a leather oud perfume. It's loud, it's boisterous. I love it. But I don't love it enough to go get a bottle. I enjoy wearing it, but I don't love it enough to buy a bottle. This would not be full bottle worthy for me. Unfortunately, I was hoping this one would be the one that blew me away because I love leather, and this is the leathery one with woods. But unfortunately, it falls short. I would stick with Promise or even the Moon. You know, even though those do different things, they play enough in the same Middle Eastern synthetic sandbox for me, and those are blended by perfumers who are trained in fine French perfumery. And I feel like, you know, even though Dominique Ropion may not know the ways of building a true attar, like a proper Middle Eastern attar, when it comes to making a perfume in eau de parfum or whatever concentration this is, probably eau de parfum. Let's see if it says. Eau de parfum, yes. So when it comes to making an eau de parfum, I would rather wear a Dominique Ropion or a, you know, or something like that. One from one of the big perfume makers. You know, that's just kind of how I feel. It is unfortunate that I feel that way. Julian Rascanet is the other one I was thinking of from the Moon. I'd rather wear a Julian Rascanet or Dominique Ropion interpretation of a Middle Eastern perfume because they do a better job of blending those notes. I enjoy those fragrances more. So Spirit of Dubai is trying to compete in that ballpark. Now, to be fair, this is the first collection that came out in 2015. Maybe they've improved some of these things that I'm saying between now and the next collection in 2017 or 18 or 19 or whenever the next collection came out. There is a second collection, which I have none of those samples. I would love to smell them, but I don't have access to them. And I'm not going to pay, you know, crazy prices for those samples. But it's one that I'm glad I got to try. It's a blessing to try. And it is a leather fragrance, and I do love leather. There's very few leathers that I, you know, will get my nose on that I just hate. I just love leather as a note. It's an easy sell for me. That kind of perfume's an easy sell. So, you know, it's something that glad I'm getting to try, but this would be a pass for me as far as a full bottle, as far as buying a full bottle goes. And that's what really matters. I mean, you know, if I spent my money on a bottle, if I actually spent my hard-earned money on it, you know I love it. And so for me to say, pass, it has some faults. It has some good sides to it. I want to be objective. There are the good sides to it. But it also has some faults. It does seem to last forever, I'll tell you that. I mean, if you're a fan of beast mode fragrances that last a long time, you know, the first two that I've tried from this house fall into that category for sure. So I'll continue to do the rest of the samples. We still have 5 more from this house, so you'll see more first impressions from me. But that's my thoughts on Maydan. I appreciate you watching, guys. If you have experience with Spirit of Dubai, Meydan, or any of the Spirit of Dubai fragrances, if you agree or disagree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. I love seeing your faces, love the interaction, love chatting with you guys, all that good stuff. And, you know, this is a prime example of why I make these videos. Because, you know, if you go look up, just on a quick side note, if you go look up Spirit of Dubai, you'll see like one of the big reviewers sitting there with a bottle that he didn't pay for. And he's going, oh, this is the most complex, amazing fragrance I've ever smelled in my life. And it's like, do you really feel that way? Or are you just saying that because you got the free bottle? And for me, I don't have that problem. You know, that's why I'm working with a sample here. And I can say whatever I want. I'm not beholden to the brand. And so that's the advantage that I have, and I truly do feel like that's an advantage, because if you get burned enough by people lying to you, you know, saying this is the best thing ever, and then you run out and buy it and go, oh, what is this? You know, you're not going to trust that person anymore. So for me, my word and what I say, even if you guys disagree with it, that's fine. But I have to be true to myself and what I believe, and that's what this channel's all about. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. A like, a subscription, a comment always helps get the channel more exposure, get more people, you know, eyeballs on the content for people who are in this little tribe, who would fit well into this little tribe, because they're out there. It's just a matter of finding them. So thanks for watching. Everyone have a great long weekend. See you again tomorrow with another video. Bye, guys.